welcome to my channel. Today I am finally doing the tattoo video, guys. I think this was the most requested video I have ever gotten, and I'm finally sitting down and doing it. I swear I've tried to do this a million times, but every single time I get interrupted, so like, let's just keep our fingers crossed. I do want to put a quick disclaimer out there that these tattoos are now part of my body, so any negativity you have to say about them, let's just not, because it's something I can't really change. I don't plan on changing, so I just want to jump right into the video. So I do have 8 tattoos, and I am going to try to talk about them all in order. I will talk about pain, and if I regretted it, no regrets. So the first tattoo I ever did get is right here on my wrist, and it says Doom Sparrow Sparrow, and basically that is in Latin, and it means while I breathe, I hope. And this I got when I was 13 years old, guys. Like, I'm not kidding, I got it at 13. The funny thing about this is my mom did sign for this. This wasn't like something I went behind her back or anything. She did sign for this, and she did let me get this tattoo. And there is obviously a meaning behind it. As far as the pain goes, I would say this was like a 1. Like, this didn't hurt at all, especially for my first tattoo. I like hyped it up to feel like so much more worse, and I went and I was like, okay. So basically, I am gonna give you guys a little bit of a backstory if you are new to my channel. My uncle was diagnosed with brain cancer years ago. He did unfortunately pass away. He had brain cancer for 11 beautiful years. And on the last year, he actually did get a tattoo that said Doom Sparrow Sparrow right here on his arm, and he got it to symbolize his whole journey with cancer. While I breathe, I hope. Obviously, you could kind of see the meaning behind that. And so when he was on his deathbed, my entire family actually got this tattoo. And I was 13 at the time. I knew for sure that this would be something that I would never regret. My uncle was my father to me. We lived with him basically my entire life. He's always been my male role model. He went to my dad's and donuts fairs, daddy-daughter dance, all of that stuff. It was all with my uncle. He raised me alongside with my mom. So when everybody was getting this tattoo, of course I wanted this tattoo. And so it did take a really, really long conversation with my mom, but we did finally come to terms that this was something that obviously we would not regret. So we did go in, we had to talk, we went to an actual tattoo shop. This wasn't like somewhere where we had to go in their house. The artist at first was like not for it. He was like, this girl is 13, there's no way I'm tattooing her. So it actually took 3 different visits because we knew that we wanted that tattoo artist because he did my mom and my grandma as well. So we wanted him to do it. We kept talking to him, and we told him the meaning behind it, and finally he said it was fine, he would do it, he consented to it. So basically what he wanted to do was wait a few days so I could really mull it over, make sure that this is something that I wanted, and of course my mind did not change, and so he finally consented to doing it, and so we got it done. Everybody at my school thought it was fake because I know I was in like middle school. You're like in middle school, I think, at the time at 13, so everybody just thought it was henna, and I was like, no guys, this is legit. I had a few of my friends try to like scrub it off. They're like, no way, no way. I do actually have a really sentimental story that I did want to share along with this as well. So with brain cancer, things just kind of go one at a time. You lose your smell, you lose blah, 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 blah. So right before I got my tattoo, he actually lost his vision. And this was something like, it broke all of us, because the reason that I wanted to get this tattoo was because I wanted to get it before he passed so that way he would be able to see it. And so he lost his vision. I got the tattoo. I remember crying, and all of a sudden, and this is where I say everything happens for a reason, because all of a sudden his vision came back only for a few moments. Like, I kid you not, guys. His vision came back, we showed it to him, he started bawling his eyes out, we all started bawling our eyes out, and then boom, his vision was gone again. And it's just like weird stuff like that. I think everything happens for a reason. So that has to be one of the best memories of my entire life. So this tattoo is so sentimental to me. Of course, I don't regret it, so that answers that question. So moving on to my second tattoo, funny enough, I thought, hey, go big or go home, and I actually got my rib tattoo, which is a sun. So I waited a few more years. I didn't get it like at 14 or anything like that. So I waited till I was 16 years old. I know it's still pretty young. There is still significant meaning behind it. It is a sun on my rib cage, and I feel like everybody kind of has this story. Like, every mom sung "You Are My Sunshine, My Only Sunshine." You know that one? You make me happy when skies are gray. Well, my mom did as well, and that was like our #1 song to sing to each other. And of course, to commemorate my mother, I did get that on my ribs. This tattoo, I would say, was probably a 5 on like a 1 to 10 scale. It didn't hurt really that much. Honestly, it more so tickled me, which is really funny to say. I remember this was like, I think, an 8-hour session, and my tattoo artist, it was the same tattoo artist for all of my tattoos, he was like, are you sure you don't want to stop? Like, I have grown-ass men stopping like every 10 minutes because of how bad it hurt, but it didn't really hurt for me. I did the whole session through. I wouldn't say that the rib cage is really that painful for me. So for my next tattoo, it is a ohm on my other wrist, and this was actually something very sporadic with me and my mom. I think at this point I was like 17 years old. Yeah, she still signed off on this one as well. So we were driving and I was like, I really want to ohm, because at this point in my life, I was really into religion. I was just really into studying religion and researching religion. That's just where I was in my life. I was really into studying Buddhism and Hinduism. If you guys do want to look up the meaning behind the ohm, definitely do so. That is the same reason that I got this tattoo. I actually have a funny story along with this. On our way to the tattoo shop, we saw 2 license plates that had, one had ohm, so A-U-M, which is like the same spelling as this ohm, and another one just had like the little symbol on their car. So I was like, that's so cool, like we gotta do it now. So we just sporadically went in, did a walk-in, and then got the tattoo. As for this tattoo, I wouldn't say I regret it. However, I would say I wish the placement was a little bit different, because now I think I want maybe like a half sleeve or something like that, and I just feel like it's like not in the best place for that, but I could definitely work around that. But for the actual like meaning and like the actual tattoo, I don't regret. And for pain scale for this was like not even a 1 because it was so small. It was like a 5-minute tattoo, super duper quick, and so the pain was like nothing. The next tattoo that I got is actually this one right here on my arm. It says, won't stop till it's over, and this again has another meaning to do with my uncle. So this was the song that we absolutely loved. It's by the Temper Trap, and it's called Sweet Disposition. Definitely check it out. And we basically would lay in his hospital bed whenever he was in hospice, or even like whenever we were actually able to take him home, we would just lay in bed and sing the song at the top of our lungs. I have the best memories from us just literally screaming this song at the top of our lungs and just singing it out. So I got this tattoo, and I actually got this on his birthday. I was 18 whenever I did get this tattoo, and I got it on February 28th, which is his birthday, and I do plan to, on his death day, get his ashes tattooed into the tattoo. I have talked to my tattoo artist about it. It is something he is definitely open to, so that was perfectly fine, and that is something I do plan on doing this coming year. I personally don't think it's weird. They don't use like all the ashes. They basically just take a little bit and tattoo into it, and that way I could carry him around wherever I go. As far as this tattoo, I would say this was actually, yes, I would say this is the most painful tattoo that I've ever gotten, especially near this area over here. Guys, oh my god, my whole body started shaking. Like, I was like, please don't mess up, because I'm like over here like shaking. It was so bad, and so he did that part first just to get it out of the way, but that definitely like threw me for a loop, because I have my ribcage tattooed, and that's like supposedly like the worst part, and this is just like simple writing, so I didn't think it was gonna hurt that bad, but it definitely did. As far as if I regret this tattoo, of course I don't regret it. Also, fun fact, if you guys have seen my birth vlog video, that is actually the song that plays with Grayson. That is the song right here. I did want that song playing whenever I do and edit my birth vlog, even though I knew I was gonna get a copyright strike and all that fun stuff, but I didn't care. I really wanted that song playing. So my next tattoo, not my best decision. I was 18 years old, and I got this like basically almost right after I got this one. I had tattoo fever. It definitely gets inside your blood and makes you addicted, and my friend was actually getting a tattoo. However, she was getting a tattoo at some girl's house, and my 18-year-old self was like, that seems like a great idea. So I decided to get one alongside her. The girl was like pretty legit, like her whole room was like its own tattoo studio. But yeah, so I did get a lotus. It is something that I've always wanted to get tattooed on my body, just because for the meaning. It is pretty basic. They're in mud, and then it creates this beautiful flower. You guys could do more research on that if you want, but that is why I wanted to get a lotus, because I've been through hell, and look at me now, basically. Again, I know it's pretty basic, I know, but I I still, to this day, have always wanted a lotus. I love my lotus. And then I also got an equality sign, and I got it on my ring finger. I wanted to get it on my wedding ring finger because I am not in the LGBTQ community. I feel like that was almost disrespectful to do that. So I got it on my other hand, so that way, just to represent that I do support the LGBTQ community. So for the pain scale for this, I would say was a 0. My best friend that was with me, she actually ended up getting a finger tattoo, and I paid for it as well. And she said it was like terrible, like she was literally crying and shaking, but it was like, I don't know, it was, finger tattoos I guess are supposed to be painful. I just feel like they were so small I didn't have the chance to feel the pain. As far as the lotus tattoo, I don't necessarily regret it, but I do wish I did get different placement for it just because it is like right on my hand. People can see it for jobs and stuff like that. Knuckle tattoos are not the best to have. However, it is very easily covered up with makeup or rings and stuff, so it's whatever, but it's the part of my life that just I went through. As far as the equality tattoo, I love the placement, still love the tattoo. No regrets there. So the next tattoo that I got is my fox tattoo right here on my forearm. And it is for that little one that is screaming and yelling. So as far as the meaning behind this, I don't know why foxes became Grayson's thing, but it just did. Whenever I was pregnant, whenever me and Patrick went to go in the nursery section or just shopping, foxes just reminded us of him. I don't know why, but every time we saw a fox, we were like, oh my gosh, this would be so cute in Grayson's nursery. And it just became like a thing. Like it just became a thing in itself. It became his nursery theme. It became my baby shower theme, like a forest theme. And then we incorporated the foxes into it. And so it has just been his main thing. Literally, I don't think there's a thing that isn't fox that my son doesn't own. It's honestly crazy. And so when I was deciding what to get Grayson, because of course I wanted to get a tattoo for my son, I really was like, I kept going back to the whole fox idea, and I was like, whenever I think of foxes, that is when I think of Grayson. It has nothing to do with like foxes being sly, because everybody kind of like tries to put it together and be like, oh, is it because of this, this, and this? It's like, no, I don't know why it became his thing, but it just did. So I did get that, and I also got half of the fox foresty. So the other half is like branches and leaves and all of that cool stuff, and so that was just because my baby shower was like part of that. Foresty theme has always kind of been like our favorite theme for him and everything, so that is why we did get that. I also loved this artwork. I was so in love, and then whenever I got there, we actually changed it last minute because I told him I told my tattoo artist that I wanted Grayson's name somehow incorporated into it, so he was like, let's hide his initials into it. So we did. So GJ for Grayson James. I didn't put his last name in it, just his first and middle name, and that is actually hidden inside the fox, which I think is so cool because whenever people talk about it or like point it out, I'm like, yeah, can you find the initials? And they'll like sit there and try to find it, and it's just really cool. As far as pain scale for this, I would say it sucked. It definitely hurt more towards like where the eyeballs are, so like this area over here. It wasn't as bad as this one. That's like when I was like debating this one or this one, I would have to say this one hurt more, but I do think it is a pretty solid place to get tattooed. I don't think it's too painful. Also wanted to mention my fox tattoo. I have to go in and get it touched up again. I never went back for my second session, so there is still like shading and stuff like that that I need to still get done. There is still a little bit of shading, but a little bit more needs to be added onto it. However, I just don't got the time, guys. So for my last tattoo, it is right here on my collarbone. I've been kind of hiding it from you guys, and this is it right here. I hope it's straight because it depends on how I'm, you know, bending myself, but it does say love you always. So this tattoo is also very, very special to me. It is for my grandma. My grandma unfortunately passed away, and she has always been my second mother. She, alongside with my uncle and my mom, raised me. We've always lived together, us three, and they were always like my second set of parents, both of them. And so of course I had to get a tattoo to commemorate her, and so I did get this. This was actually really hard to decide because she really loved daisies and she also really loved elephants, so I was gonna do somewhere along there, but I couldn't find any artwork that I really just for sure wanted. And I was talking to my sister and she mentioned actually handwriting, and I was like, oh my god, that's such a good idea. So I went through all of my old birthday cards, any kind of card, and most of it was just her signature, and I didn't want her name necessarily. I wanted something a little bit more meaningful for her, and so I finally saw where she wrote love you always, and so this is in her handwriting, and so This means a lot to me. I did get this placed here because it is closest to my heart. I know, really basic, whatever. That is why I did get it placed right there. I also really love collarbone tattoos and how they look, and I love, as you could tell, you could see most of my tattoos are script tattoos. I love script tattoos. I love how they look on the body, and I love like tattoos that are very spaced out and just like awkwardly placed, if that makes sense. I don't know, like my kind of tattoos, that's what I like. And so I love this tattoo. The pain level on this, guys, was unreal. Like unreal, like oh my god, especially obviously right on the bone. I like almost tapped out. I almost took a break from it. I didn't. However, guys, that's just painful. Like that, it's really painful. It's funny because my tattoo artist actually joked around with me. He finished it completely and he was like, yeah, I just have to go over it again. And I guess he already went over it twice already. And so I was like, oh my god, no, can I please have a break? And he was like, okay. So he literally let me sit there and take a break thinking I had to go do it over again. He was like, I'm just fucking with you, like we're done. And I was like, oh, thank the Lord, because it hurts so bad. I still have to go back and get this one touched up again. However, it is done. And last but not least, I do have a really funny story. I have actually tattooed myself. So I grew up watching Friends. I almost think every 90s baby has. And it was like me and my mom's show. And when Phoebe got the tattoo of just the dot, I have always wanted that. I know it's super silly, but I've always wanted just a dot tattoo. That's what I wanted. And so another thing that I did that wasn't necessarily the smartest, my friend's boyfriend actually had a tattoo gun because he was an aspiring tattoo artist. So I thought it was an amazing idea to go and try to tattoo myself. And yeah, so I tattooed myself, guys, and I tattooed just a little dot, and I solely wanted it for the purpose to tell people, like,
yeah, I tattooed myself.
And they're gonna like look at all my tattoos and be like,
which one do you think I tattooed myself?
And they're gonna be like,
oh my god, I don't know.
And then I'm gonna pull up my fucking dot and be like,
this one, bitch.
So I did tattoo myself. However, it did not stick. It was on my right toe. On my left side, it was like my second toe right here. And I got it like right, like in between, almost like this tattoo right here, but in between my toe, because I didn't want it like, I didn't want to ruin like an actual space for a tattoo. So I got it there and it didn't stay. I swear, like I was bleeding, guys. Like I thought I did it, but apparently I didn't. I even scabbed up and everything, but it disappeared. So I don't know, but I plan on doing that again because like I said, I do want a tattoo that I have done myself, whether it is stick and poke or by an actual gun, and it just is gonna be a dot. Like I don't plan on doing any other tattoos on myself, just a dot and I'll be good. Yeah, those are all of my tattoos and all of their meanings. I do also want to put on here before I leave that I don't think that every tattoo has to have like this significant meaning. It just happens that most of my tattoos do. If you want to get a flower because you think it's pretty, go get yourself a fucking flower. Tattoos are art and your body is your canvas. Again, super basic of me to say, but that is the truth. So go have a heyday, guys. Go do it. Yeah, that is all my tattoos, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this video and I hope it was everything that you thought it was gonna be. So have a great one, guys. Bye.